Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here, back with another part of What If Naruto the Blonde's Future. And before continuing this part, I have uploaded What If Naruto Was in a Political Marriage part 27. If you haven't, please check that out as well. And leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. Yeah, and comment down below some suggestions of what the new series should be. Yeah, I want to write down a new series of my own and I want your suggestions. So please suggest some cool things down in the comment section. And without further ado, let's continue our series. Last time we left off when Obito and previous Team 7 of Obito, Kakashi and Rin challenged Naruto. Now we continue from there. The team and Naruto made their way to a training field where Naruto asked if there was any rules he had to follow. Well, for starters, don't injure them too badly and none of your explosive techniques. I don't want to wake up in the ruins of Konoha. Lord Hokage would have my head, Minato sighed. So no Rasen Shuriken or like that? Kushina made an X with her hands. Anything else goes? Team Minato got into their battle formations while Naruto just shrugged. I feel like there's a really big power gap here. I'm already beyond Kage level in terms of fighting and power. Just try to go easy on them, Kushina face palmed. I only have one hand. I think that's handicap enough. Fair enough. Obito eyes whirled red. When do you unlock the Sharingan? I was watching the memories and I guess I was so hurt by one of the scenes I just got it. Strange, Kakashi mumbled. So when are you giving it to me? He joked. Never, Obito argued. Copy Ninja Kakashi? He joked. Here I come, Naruto shouted as he ran forward, disappearing in a flash of yellow light. Naruto threw a punch at Kakashi who swiftly dodged it, but felt a blow to his jaw, sending him to the ground. This is just like that memory. With pain. Senjutsu? Frog Kumita. Naruto didn't let up as he rushed to double up on his attack on Kakashi, but a large fireball headed his way. I'm here as well. A true seeking orb slammed into the fireball, completely negating it. Sweet on. Shiryuden Nojutsu. A raging dragon erupted from the river and flew towards Naruto, knocking off the balance. I didn't expect Rin to have or know such high-level technique. Looks like you guys have been training without me, huh? Minato smiled. A quick battle ensued with the three being absolutely decked by Naruto. Well, this was to be expected anyways. Naruto helped all of them up. Hey Naruto, why don't you show us what you can really do? I don't think that's such a good idea, destroying the village and all. And suddenly they were teleported to the outskirts of Konoha, near the mountainside. Dad? Why'd you bring us here? I guess I'm kind of curious what you can do at your max potential as well. He rubbed the back of his head. You can't be serious. He looked at Kushina, who had star in her eyes. What do you do, Mom? I just want to see how much you've grown, she said. Naruto gave in, so finally sighing, asking them all to get back a good distance. Better not have gotten rusty, Kurama. You're finally getting an excuse to let out. Kurama snorted from the inside the mindscape. Naruto yelled as the yellow chakra expanded massively. A large nine tails appeared, a nine tails made from chakra with 3 faces and 6 arms floating in the sky. Nearby trees and water being lifted into the air by the sheer power radiating from it. 6th path, Rasen Shuriken. 2 massive Rasen Shurikens formed around the construct arms, increasing the already fast wind speeds. Naruto, that's enough! Shielding his face from the rough winds, hearing Minato's voice, Naruto undid the transformation and landed on the ground. The 3 Ganins were absolutely shocked. You wanted us to fight Dad? Kakashi asked Obito. Naruto nervously chuckled. I might have gone a little bit overboard, showing off a little too bit. He wobbed side to side before being supported by Kushina. A little? Whoa, releasing that amount of chakra in a burst took a little too much out of me, huh? Naruto sighed. That was insane. Rin commented, Obito nodding, sharing her sentiment. Is there anyone that can even come closer in terms of power to you? Sure, there is. Naruto started counting off his fingers. Kaguya, Sasuke, and Old Man Sage. Minato caught that he didn't mention either Madara Uchiha or Hashirama Senju. Was he really truly stronger than those two legendary figures? Right now, Naruto was probably the strongest shinobi alive in this time. After everyone had calmed down, Minato waved goodbye to his team. Let's go home, shall we? Yeah! Both Naruto and Kushina yelled. Link break. Care to explain why almost half the apple trees outside of Konoha have been uprooted? I can explain, Lord Hokage, Minato said nervously and in a serious tone. Can you now? Risen raised an eyebrow. Minato sighed. I can't. After settling the compensation negotiation, Minato sat down sighing. Looks like I'll be going on more missions to pay off all of those trees you destroyed. Kushina gave a sympathetic laugh. I'll accompany you. You know. Good evening, Mikoto and Fugaku said as they entered. We got your message, Naruto. They held up a kunai with a paper tag, sprawled with messy handwriting. You should take your son to a calligraphy class. Minato, Fugaku joked. Minato and Kushina shared a laugh as Naruto went to sit with Inoichi. So if you called them here, it means Sasuke is going to be in your memories, Hiruzen asked. Itachi is coming up. He came back as a reanimation. What? Fugaku stood up, grabbing Naruto by collar. You never told me anything about this. You never told me my son died. Yeah. I brought you here so you'd find out and you'll be able to change it. Who? Who killed Itachi? Sasuke, Naruto said sadly and scared. As he digested those words, the weight came crushing down on his shoulders. Fugaku calmed himself, letting go of Naruto. I apologize for my behavior, Naruto. It's alright. I know you meant well. Naruto gave a nod. Is it alright if I brought Itachi over and you connect with his chakra? I heard from Lord Jiraiya that through this method, I can sense what happens through Itachi's older self. I like to see my son's final moments. It's the least I can do. Thank you, Mikoto said, wiping tears away. We're beginning, Inoichi said after this. They sat down, finishing their conversation. On to the orb. I don't believe it. Are they close? I've got this nostalgic feeling. Back with the audience. So, even Nagato got summoned back. His red hair turned white, Jiraiya asked. He used too much power when he brought everyone back to life. Back with the orb. Naruto and B landed in front of Itachi and Nagato. I suppose it's been some time since we last met, but it feels like it's been an instant. Since you were there when I died. You look different, Naruto. Nagato said, propping himself onto Itachi for support. Out of nowhere, Itachi launched a fireball technique that ate up the surrounding. B cut it in half with his blade. What become of Sasuke? Itachi asked mid-fight. He's trying to take revenge on the Leaf. He even joined the Akatsuki. Why won't he return to the village? When he learned the truth about your secret mission, he decided to destroy the village in retaliation. Back with the audience. Secret mission? What was it? Mikoto asked. The Uchiha clan was planning a coup. Itachi was given a choice, and he chose to kill all his clan members and was able to save and leave Sasuke alive. You lie! Mikoto shouted. Itachi made himself the villain to save Sasuke and the village. Naruto said resoluted. He is a hero. And a martyr, apparently. Fugaku sighed, holding on to Mikoto. Back with the orb. I'm counting on you taking care of Sasuke. That was always my plan, Naruto shouted. As the fight continued, Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan burst to life. Naruto suddenly choking as a crow with its own Mangekyo Sharingan started withering out. Back with the audience. Rin covered her eyes. Gross. Obito cringed at the sight. Back with the orb. Itachi's eyes connected with the crow as he launched Amaterasu at Nagato's summon. It worked. Calm down. I'm not being controlled anymore. I layered a new Kenjutsu on top of the enemy's technique. With this, the reanimation is cancelled. The Kenjutsu is an order to protect the village of Konoha. I implanted an eye into the crow, the ultimate illusionary technique of Uchiha Shisui Mangekyo Sharingan, Koto Amatsukami. Back with the artist. What? Fugaku choked. That's amazing! Back with the orb. Self-sacrifice, a nameless shinobi who protects peace from within its shadows. That is a true shinobi. Shisui taught me that. Shisui gave me his eye, trusting me to protect the village with it. He asked me to hide its existence and then died silently. Back with the audience. So it's true then. Sasuke is the only living Uchiha. Fugaku regarded sadly. Obito also looked down for the news. Back with the orb. If the brother I left behind ever became a threat to the village as the keeper of Shisui's eye, it would mean I betrayed his trust. You were the only one who could hope to correct this. You called Sasuke your brother, Naruto. This is why I felt that only you could stop Sasuke if the time ever came. Naruto smiled unwavering. Itachi, thank you for trusting me. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You've done more than enough for this village already. Leave the rest to me. Back with the audience. I'm grateful that my son has a friend like you, Naruto. Fugaku regarded Naruto. Yeah, Naruto gave him a thumbs up. Back with the orb. A large flame skeleton used its hand to swipe Nagato away. Back with the audience. The Susanoo! Fugaku laughed. Eyes not leaving the screen. My son is able to use the Susanoo. The only other person that could use it was Madara Uchiha. Calm down, dear. Mikoto pulled his sleeves. Sasuke can use it too. Fugaku only smiled and laughed harder, mumbling something about raising geniuses. Back with the orb. As they were being sucked up by the gravitational pull of Nagato's technique, Itachi calmly assessed the situation. If we destroy the center of mass, that should end the technique. Let's all hit it at once with our strongest long-range attacks. Back with the audience. Smart, Minato commented. Back with the orb. You don't have to aim. The gravity will pull our attack straight to the target. Yasuka's Magam Tama. Rasen Shuriken. Tail Beast Bomb. The three attacks and techniques crashed into the spear of stone, completely destroying it. Nagato was stabbed by Itachi's blade. I'm sorry, Itachi. Nagato mumbled out. This is the sword of Totsuka. I'm about to seal you away permanently. Any last words? Naruto, I'm going back to where your teacher waits for me, to watch how your story ends. I think you're the third part of this trilogy. The first was Jiraiya, and he was a masterpiece. But I was garbage. I was a bomb, an utter failure. My way was wrong. Even our teacher wouldn't acknowledge me as a true part of this series. Nagato whispered as his form crumbled to ashes. The third and final part is here. Wrap it all up. Be so stellar that everyone forgets how horrible the second part was. Naruto. Back with the audience. Jiraiya grunted. I forgive you, Nagato. Now it's time you forgive yourself. Back with the orb. I'll end this war myself. I'll take full responsibility. That's my role in all this. Naruto panted. The chakra exhausted was catching up to him. Back with the audience. It's true, you're different. You're stronger than before. But it seems to me you might be losing sight of what's important. Minato said. I know. I was a little too arrogant in this time. Naruto nodded. Back with the orb. Listen, and listen well. If you fixate your attention on yourself, becoming arrogant and forgetting others, you'll one day become like Madara. Back with others. Obito gulped. Back with the orb. No matter how strong you become, don't try to bear the weight on your shoulders. You will fail. The reason your father Minato could become Hokage was because he had your mother Kushina and all his friends. Your dream was your father's, wasn't it? Remember this well then. The village didn't acknowledge him because he became the Hokage. He became the Hokage because the village acknowledged him. Don't forget about your friends. Hiruzen nodded. Back with the orb. Naruto, I promised this guy called Iruka or something to protect ya. I ain't letting you go alone. Besides, I'm still kicking and bitching. B grinned. Back with the audience. There's no need for you to shoulder all of this alone, Kakashi told Naruto, waving his hand dismissively. That's why we have comrades, even if they are incompetent. Nothing. Obito took a second. What was that, you dumbass? Rin had to intervene to make sure another fight wouldn't start. The orb changed, Inoichi whispering to let Naruto know which one would be starting next. The next memory skips ahead a few hours or days. I can't really remember. Madara will be making an entrance. The audience shivered at the thought but motioned for Naruto and Inoichi to continue. Back with the orb. A coffin emerged from the ground and unlike it, the normal lid dropped to the ground. The lid cracked and exploded outwards. A hand reached out. So, it finally happened. It appears that little brat Nagato managed to grow. Back with the audience. Naruto, are you okay? Minato asked, seeing his son quiver. Yeah, just some bad memories. Back with your. It can't be. This next summoning. Did you say reanimation? Isn't that the technique known as complete atrocity against the entire flow of life and death in this universe? Back with the audience. Who is this guy? Obito asked Naruto. You'll find out in just a moment. Back with the orb. So you've come. Oniki asked. Oniki started. Madara. Uchiha. Madara stood on the rock, glaring down at the shinobi below, his red armor clanking softly in the wind. Long raven hair flowing behind him, the Sharingan spinning slowly in his eyes. Back with the audience. Wait, but didn't that Toby guy said he was Madara? Obito gasped. The Shinobi Alliance received intelligence that Madara was heading towards the tail beast host. Then, who in the world is the man behind the mask? Jiraiya asked, the question everyone asking. Back with the orb, link break. So, if that's right in front of us is the real Madara, then who is the person we thought was Madara this whole time? Was someone else impersonating him? Quite possibly, Kara concurred. Madara leapt down and fired a widespread flame technique. Back with the audience. What a powerful technique. Usually you need multiple people to fire off such wide-scale technique, Fugaku said, awed by the power of his ancestor. As the scene changed, Fugaku was shocked again. The Susanoo. The Shinobi Alliance is doomed. He put a hand to his head. And he has the Mangekyo Sharingan. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto corrected him. Even worse, Fugaku groaned. Back with the orb. Naruto threw the Rasen Shuriken at Madara while Gaara pulled him out of the Susanoo with sand, sending him on a collision path with Naruto's technique. Back with the audience. Yeah, instant kill, baby, Obito cheered. Back with the orb. That's a bit too much, Madara said as his eyes swirled to the Rinnegan, soaking up the Rasen Shuriken. Back with the audience. Crap, they all said in unison. The scene changed. Hiruzen fell back on his seat. Dear Lord, this is on an entirely different level, Rin said. Her hands were covering her mouth. Tsunade felt nauseous just looking at the scale of the attack that Madara just launched. Back with the orb. A large meteor, as though sent down from the heavens itself, came plummeting down, bolting out the sun. Is this the power of God? Gaara asked. Back with the audience. The audience was on the edge of their seats, some in fear and some in awe at the level of power that Uchiha Madara possessed. Back with the orb. Oniki flew up and started pushing against the meteor. Back with the audience. That old man is going to try and stop that? Jabart. Oniki is a powerful person. Not that he's Tsuchikage. He has people he has to protect. That will give him drive, Hiruzen said. Back with the orb. Oniki released multiple techniques to make the stone lighter, grinding it to a halt with the help of Gaara, making large sand constructs to hold it in its place. Back with the audience. They stopped it! Rin clapped her hands together happily and sighed in relief. Then, why isn't Naruto smiling? Kakashi asked. The other looked at Naruto. His face was grim and hands clammy, as though remembering a nightmare. Back with the audience. Back with the orb. Now, Oniki, Madara's soothed voice came out. How will you stop a second one? Back with the audience. Rin put her hands in prayers as she watched the second meteor crashing into the first one, both collapsing on top of each other, the shinobi below being crushed. No! Kushina whisper shouted. Back with the orb. Oniki stood back up, propped up by Gaara. Madara sneered down at them, talking about how he could continue testing more on how his new body would function. He and the former Tsuchikage leapt towards Oniki and Gaara, battle stance ready on the fly. Back with the audience. Run! Obito shouted. Back with the orb. But before they could attack, they were kicked harshly away by Tsunade and Dei. Back with the audience. There's Tsunade! In the nick of time. Naruto wiped his sweat. Punctuality may not be my strong point, but I always arrive on the dot, she huffed. Back with the orb. Terumi Mei, the fifth Mizukage, also joined the battle. The five Kage stood by each other, ready to face off against Madara. Being gold has perks, huh? Oniki smiled. To think I'd live to see the day when the five Kages would stand and fight together. Back with the audience. The ultimate team. Snardy laughed. Back with the orb. A fierce battle ensued. Are you gonna be alright, Granny Snardy? If you'll use your forehead shield technique, you'll turn into an old hag and collapse, won't you? Back with the audience. Naruto got bopped on the head. I'm not that weak, brat. Back with the orb. This time is different than it was with pain. I only healed my own wounds, and then they're not nearly as bad. I still have plenty of chakra left. Then please heal me. I can't let my clone disappear yet. I want to fight here. Naruto desperately said. There's no need for that. Why? The war is no longer just about protecting you. Minato tilted his head. What did Oniki mean? In the audience, back with the orb. This war has become a battle to protect everyone. Listen, Naruto. Oniki floated in front of him. When this war first started, I only agreed to join Ninja Alliance because it was the only way to stand a chance against the Akatsuki. But fighting together with you, I'm starting to feel differently than I used to. Now I want to be here as Tsuchikage of the Ninja Alliance. And just like that, I've been thinking of uniting all the scattered ninja villages together as one. If that happens, then the ninja system in this world that gave birth to hatred, we might have a chance to changing that. Back with the audience. A grand speech. Naruto, it seems you change everyone you meet for the better. Jiraiya sighed smilingly. The Leaf village is truly blessed to have a ninja like you amongst us. Minato chuckled. Hey, did you ever become the Hokage? Naruto thought for a bit. After Granny retired from being the 5th Hokage, the 6th Hokage was Kakashi-sensei. Me? Kakashi pointed to himself, eyes dropping in exasperation. Him? Obito ground his teeth. I wanna be Hokage. Rin laughed at this. Back with the orb. The young and the old. If we can defeat both Madaras, we can end this war. We're going to protect you at this battlefield. So go protect us at the other battle. Naruto closed his eyes. Naruto's clones, I have a word from you from the 5 Kage. Snardy chuckled. Then the 5 Kage said in unison. Link break. Epic. Obito grinned. Back with the orb. Naruto vanished from the spot in his Nine-Tails form and sped through a forest, suddenly sensing his enemies ahead. Yeah, I'll win this. Naruto crashed headfirst into Tobi. Back with the audience. Let's go. Jiraiya cheered alongside Obito. Back with the orb. Settle down, motherfucker. B said, catching Naruto with his offhand. Damn, that thing's solid. I didn't even crack it. I should have slipped through you, but you couldn't even scratch my mask. Tobi sounded disappointed. Come on, Naruto. I expect more than that. Power, that is. 7 reanimations jumped out from the trees. Back with the audience. Are those Hiruzen asked? Yeah. Those are all the former hosts of the Tail Beast. They were all killed? Snardy said with, my fly shades are way too dark. You can't blind me a few little sparks. I could sense your malice from a mile away. The battle against the Tail Beast host started. A multitude of techniques and attacks were strewn about, injuring both Naruto and B. Back with the audience. So how can this person be Madara if the actual one just got summoned to the other battlefield? Snardy asked, scratching her chin slightly. Use the name just to gain some notoriety. He needed it to back his claims of starting the 4th grade ninja war. So you know who the person behind the mask is, right? I do. Why don't you tell us then? Naruto shifted in his chair uncomfortably under everyone's gaze. I think it's better for everyone if you find out yourself. A beat later, Snardy sighed. Well, if it makes you that uncomfortable, the person under the mask must have been someone you never expected, yes? Yeah, Naruto nodded. Back to the orb. You call me by my old name, Tobi, if you prefer. The war has already begun. My name no longer matters. Madara, Tobi, call me whatever you want. Back with the audience. Who the hell is this guy? Obito moaned, racking his brain to think of a likely culprit. Minato visibly cringed, shivering. Back with the orb. I'm no one. I don't want to be anyone. All I care about is completing the Moonzai plan. This world is completely worthless. There's nothing left in it but misery. I'm gonna tear that mask off if the last thing is that I do. If you wanna see what's underneath my mask, you're gonna have to work for it. All the tail beasts started to transform. Back with the audience. Well, shit. Jiraiya cursed. Kushina not even noticing he had cursed too transfixed by the battle. Wait, Hiruzen held up his hand. What is this Moon Eye plan? They were going to cast an infinite Tsukiyomi on the moon, which would reflect over to the earth, casting everyone into an internal genjutsu. My god! Hiruzen looked wide-eyed. Back with the audience. Eight-tail formed up and burst through the forest canopy. I'm gonna drop Killer Bee Hook the eight tails on their ears. Eight tails spun around, destroying a large portion of the forest, turning it all into flat land. Back with the audience. What power, Fugaku commented. But be that as it may be, Hiruzen pointed at all the tail beast hordes. The enemies all powered up at once. Hiruzen leaned back to his chair. Back with the orb. Toby put a hand to Naruto's face. With this, it is all over. Back with the audience. No, no! Minato gripped Naruto's hand while Kushina closed her eyes in fear. Jiraiya and Tsunade's chakra instinctively flared. Back with the orb. But before they could happen, Kakashi and Guy leapt into the battle. You used Naruto as bait and waited for the moment, and when I materialized to touch him. What a nuisance. Back with the audience. I forgive you for using Naruto as bait, Kakashi. Minato chuckled. Thanks for saving my son. It was nothing, Kakashi said. Back with the audience. Back with the orb. Don't forget we have a Sharingan between us too. At the noble green beast of Konoha. I can't be sitting around while one of my team 7 students is overdoing it out here, Kakashi said resolutely. Kakashi and Guy even fought against three-tailed beasts, pushing them back. Back with the audience. Kakashi, you're so strong. Rin looked starry-eyed at Kakashi, which made Obito grumble. I bet I would be strong if I were dead, he joked. Strangely, nobody laughed. Back with the orb. The fight continued for a longer while before Naruto was in his mindscape again. If you want me to lend you my power, I could, Naruto. Thanks for the help. Back with Madara. That really saved me. Back with the audience. Never thought I'd see the day someone would be thanking the Ninetales, Kushina added. Back with the orb. Don't thank me. It's weird. I'd rather be under your control than Madara's. That's all I was thinking about. Back with the audience. I didn't know the Ninetales was a tsundere. Minato chuckled. Back with the orb. And besides, because of this prison I'm in, I could only give you a tiny bit of my chakra, and now I just want to see you fight a little more. That's right, I just want a good way to kill some time. Back with the audience. Tsundere, Minato whispered to Kushina. Check that out. Rin gushed, amazed that someone was friendly with the Ninetales. Back with the orb. The Ninetales held out a fist. Meld your chakra with mine. Naruto tapped his fist against the Ninetales, both of them sharing a grin. You aren't a monster fox anymore. You're one of my teammates from the Leaf Village, Kurama. Now let's go. Back with the audience. You really did it. You made peace with the Ninetales, Jiraiya muttered. Back with the orb. The tail beast started to each charge up a tail beast bomb. This is really bad. Watch your step, guy. I'm going to blow them all away with Kamui. There are too many. There's no way you'd have enough strength for that. There's no choice. I'm going to use my 8-gate. Back with the audience. Don't be a fool. You'll definitely die after using that, Tsunade said. What else can they do? Kakashi sighed. Back with the orb. I'm on it. A yellow swipe sent all the 5-tailed beast bombs skirting towards the horizon, exploding spectacularly across the landscape. Back with the audience. What powers? Hiruzen added on. Back with the orb. Kakashi eyes open to see a yellow silhouette in front of him. Sensei. Back with the audience. You know, people say when they see a father in their son's reflection, you've done a great job as a parent. Jiraiya congratulated Minato. Back with the orb. A chakra form of Kurama roared to life, with Naruto standing in the middle of it, in his new cloaked form. Kurama and Naruto faced off against the combined bomb of all the tail beasts and matched it equally, sending large amount of chakra crashing into the sky and exploding. Back with the audience. To be able to hold your own against so many tail beasts, the Ninetale is truly strong. Back with the orb. Seeing Naruto have grown this much makes me feel really old. What's the matter? This isn't like you. It may sound weird coming from me, but let's just agree that our spring times of youth aren't over yet. Alright? Back with the audience. God, I've been caught in this groove. Kashi palmed his face. Obito only laughed harder at him. The scene changed once more to show Inoichi hooked up to a machine that covered half his face. What's that on my face? Some sort of machine? It links you to all of the shinobi in the Ninja Alliance. Back with the orb. Inoichi, use all the power you have to convey news of Naruto group to all the reinforcements. You have 15 seconds. I want to up everyone morale at once. Shukaku shouted from across the room. Everyone! Telling everyone will create great stress on the chakra channels. It could be dangerous. Inoichi scoffed. Don't be ridiculous. 10 seconds. I'm not a good speaker, but leave it to me. Back with the audience. Yes, shinobi that are willing to sacrifice themselves for a better future? It seems the Wheel of Fire has not become an ember, but has become a great place. Hiruzen chuckled. Inoichi coughed a little, embarrassed at his future self's bravery. Back with the orb. News from HQ. The conditions are good at the reinforcements point, meaning Uzumaki Naruto is holding his ground. Naruto and B, who we here to protect, are currently fighting with all their hearts and on the front lines. The same goes for Kakashi and Guy. We want you all to join them. Everyone's powerful feeling coming together will foretell victory. Inoichi coughed and panted heavily, his nose bleeding and dripping onto his flake vest. I'm really bad at talking after all. I ended up taking 20 seconds. Back with the audience. That just goes to show how strong your own feelings are, Fugaku said, nodding to Inoichi. Thank you. Inoichi sat inwardly proud of his future self. The screen disappeared as Inoichi leaned back. Well, that's the end of the memory link break. A knock of the Hokage's door made everyone spin to it. Enter, Hiruzen said. Young Itachi entered. Itachi! Naruto smiled at the boy. Good afternoon. Itachi bowed respectfully. Fugaku nodded and held his son's hand. This is Naruto. In a moment he will be sharing his chakra with you, so that we can see what happens to you in the future. Future? Is something like that truly possible, father? It is. Fugaku nodded. Itachi made his way to Naruto and sat on his lap. I'll start. He placed a hand on Itachi's shoulder and started letting his chakra seep into and merge with Itachi's own. Alright, we're more or less synced. Then I shall begin this technique. Inoichi said, and everyone waited what would come next. An orb. Sasuke stared at Itachi, who was sleeping through the trees. Wait, you're Itachi, right? No answer came. Sasuke stepped up and activated his Susanoo. I said, wait! Are you listening to me? Itachi used his own Susanoo to swipe away Sasuke's own. Incredible. You're also capable of using this technique. Why are you here? You should be dead. This is Kabuto's technique. I'm here because of the reanimation. I can't stop now. I have important things to do. Your confidence when you talk did not change, but they told me about what you did until now. You changed quite a bit. Back with the audience. Who's that? That's your younger brother, Sasuke. Why is he angry at me? Itachi asked, did I do something wrong? Fugaku and Mikoto shared a look. No, of course not. Back with the orb. Why only me? Why am I different from our father and mother? Why just me? Sasuke looked confused and pained. For that sake, I used the hatred within you, and that's why I failed. The only thing I did was giving the hatred to you and making you flee the village. I turned you into a criminal. I wish that you would walk the right path, and yet, from the moment I died, you were walking the wrong path. You were enticed into a straight path without branching roads. I wanted to rewrite the indication on your path with my lies and efforts. Back with the audience. I'm dead? Absolutely not. Not when I'm still alive and have something to do about it, Fugaku said. That's right. We won't let anything happen to you, Itachi, Mikoto continued. Back with the orb. Itachi crashed into Kabuto's hideout, stopping Sasuke's shuriken from hitting Kabuto. If you kill the one who performed the reanimation, the technique continues forever. First of all, I will use my Tsukiyomi on him to understand how to stop it. Then, while he's under the effect of it, I'll control him and stop the technique. Itachi, Sasuke started, moving closer to stand shoulder to shoulder with him. You're always used to me later. later. At least this one time, keep your promises. Nature stays the same until you die, but I already died once. I will keep it. Itachi laughed slightly. Kabuto laughed, snakes wrapping around his body. Brothers, both left alone by their friends. This is interesting. Back with the audience. It seems Orochimaru has raised a rather powerful apprentice. Nade massaged her temples. He doesn't even resemble his old self back at the three-way deadlock. Why is why is his snake such a popular technique medium? Kakashi asked. They probably just want to look cool, but they end up looking so gross, like who wants scale on their skin? Obito stuck his tongue out. Back with the audience. The snakes crashed at where the two Uchihas were standing, destroying the wall and stalactites? I don't know what that means. Behind them. Back with the audience. Sasuke and Itachi Mikoto cried out. They're fine. They're both Uchihas after all. They won't go down so easily. Fukaku reassured his wife. Back with the a red and purple Susanoo burst into life, grabbing snakes and cutting them in half. Don't be too rough, Sasuke. Remember, don't kill him. He's got Orochimaru's power. He won't die so easily. Sasuke lunged forward and used the arms of the Susanoo to grab Kabuto's cloak, expecting him to be inside. However, all that greeted him was a handful of snakes. Kabuto went on explaining about what he had been doing in his own time as the battle around the cave continued. Back with the audience. Impossible, Jiraiya said. The frog sage always talked about two other different locations that taught the sage technique, but I never believed that it was true. Back with the orb. I see, I was right indeed, Itachi stated grimly. Kabuto gave a wide leer. My power in the sage mode. A snake shot out Kabuto's mouth, spiraling in onto itself. It became a ball of light and piercing ring sound. Back with the audience. The light and sound is impairing their vision and sensing of hearing. The body will get numb due to the vibration of the air. Essentially, the body will be paralyzed. Rin said. Good observation, Rin. Tsunade agreed. If I didn't have a pink cat coming to be my apprentice soon, I would have asked you. You can train them both, can't you? Minato asked. You fool! Jiraiya whispered to him. Do you really want two mini Tsunades running around Konoha? I would never be able to go to a hot spring to peep anymore. Back with the orb. The battle continued fiercely while Itachi and Sasuke working hand in hand to combat Kabuto. Itachi was stabbed by Kabuto's blade but turned into crows, signaling the start of Itachi's illusionary technique. Giving a quick swipe with the sword, Itachi cut off one of Kabuto's horns. Alright, I almost forgot about that. There were horns, I haven't gotten used to it. Kabuto felt the cut off horn. I can understand that something might have happened when you defeated Itachi, Kabuto asked, but I don't see what you might want to know from a dead person. Sasuke's eyes shifted to his brother. The truth. Back with the audience. No, don't listen to this freak. Mikoto collapsed her hands together, listening to how Kabuto tried to lure her younger son to his side. Fugaku clenched his fists. Mikoto breathed a sigh of relief and Sasuke shrugged aside the offer of power at Kabuto's side. Back with the orb. It's not Izanagi, it's another one that forms a pair with it. Another one. Back with the audience. Impossible. There's no way Itachi can pull off that technique. What is this technique, Fugaku? Normally it would be a clan secret, but I suspect it's already going to be revealed in the memories. This technique can hold and mold a person's destiny. Izanami. Back with the orb. Izanami. Itachi paired Kabuto's attack with the blade. If Izanagi is a technique that can change identity, Izanami can decide it. Itachi leapt back to Sasuke. Stay close to me. The wall of the cave became organic and stalactites. I don't know what that means. Sharpening and seeking out Itachi and Sasuke. Kabuto started talking about his past as he weaved through Itachi and Sasuke's attack. Back with audience. Wow, doesn't this guy ever stop monologuing? Obito chuckled weakly, trying to lift the depressing atmosphere the room had after listening to Kabuto's backstory. Izanami has already started, Fugaku said. How? Where? And when? Rin asked, her head tilting in confusion. There. Fugaku pointed at the screen when Itachi cut off Kabuto's horn again. That's the second time Itachi cut off the horns. Back with the orb. And again, the horn was back on Kabuto's head. Back with it. It's back! Rin pointed. Back with the orb. Again it was cut off. I told you, your fate is in my hands. Uchiha, Itachi. Itachi held Kabuto's head. He cannot escape this loop. This technique had decided fate. That is Izanami. His left eye started to fade to avoid signaling the blindness. Back with the orders. Incredible. Fugaku breathed. Thought that whole battle was an illusion. I never thought I would see Izanami used like this. Back with the orb. Itachi moved to stop the reanimation but was stopped by Sasuke's temper. Why? Why do you have to protect Konoha after all they did to you? Even if you may forgive me, I can't. You have no attachments to this world. You're the only one who made me this way, Sasuke panted. The one who can change you is no longer me. Itachi sighed. That's why stopping this technique is the least I can do. To keep from slighting what I left in Naruto's hands. Light burst out from every one of the reanimation puppets, foretelling about how the technique would soon be undone. I can feel my consciousness fading little by little, Itachi said as he trudged to Sasuke. Before we say farewell, let me teach you about what you wanted to confirm. There's no need for me to lie anymore. That night I parted with you. Everything I did on that night was exactly how Danzo and Toby explained it to you. This is Itachi's memories, Mikoto said in the audience. Back with the orb. It looks like we can't stop the Uchiha coup d'etat. If a civil war starts in Konoha, other countries will come to attack, and a war will break soon. Shisui began. Back with the audience. So it's true then, Fugaku frowned. We really did want to betray the leaf. Fugaku, is that? Yes, it seems this is where we both die. Back with the orb. Oh, so you're on their side now, Fugaku said as his eyes closed. Father, mother, I. We understand, Itachi, Mikoto continued after him. Take care of Sasuke, Fugaku said, leaving no room for argument in his voice. Back with the audience. Mikoto openly cried. Fugaku grunted slightly to abstain from showing his true emotions. Back with the orb. Itachi let his tears fall as he gripped on the blade, trembling. Understood. Do not fear, this is the path you choose. Is it not? Fugaku told his son. Our pain will be in an instant. It's nothing compared to what you will face. Even though our ways of thinking are different, I am proud of you, my son. You truly are a gentle child. Back with the audience. Fugaku couldn't stop the wetness from escaping his eyes as he sat up straighter in his chair. Back with the orb. The scene changed back to Itachi ambling to Sasuke. I always lied to you, telling you to forgive me. I used these hands to keep you far, far away from me. I did not want you to get involved, but now I think you should have changed father and mother, and changed the Uchiha. If I would have faced you at the start, stood at the same viewpoint as you, and spoke to you about the truth, but I failed. And speaking to you now like this isn't going to tell you anything. That's why I just wanted to show you the truth, even just a little. Itachi brought his forehead to Sasuke's. You never have to forgive me. No matter what happens to you from here on out, I will always love you. Back with the audience. Fugaku and Mikoto cried, Mikoto sniffling into his chest while Fugaku rubbing her head. His farewell ended with light. Hiruzen sighed. Hiruzen sighed and said, Phew, I'm beat. Inoichi released his hands from Naruto's shoulder. Is there anything we should know before we continue tomorrow? Naruto thought about it for himself for a bit. It can't be much more worse than this, right? Jiraiya said smilingly. Your animation has already been cancelled, so all you have to do is deal with Toby. Madara resisted the reanimation cancelling. What? The most of the audience cried out. Every technique has risks, and this is the reanimations. An exceptionally powerful soul can cancel the convert and remain bound to earth. An immortal, undying body with unlimited chakra. Talk about bargain, Jiraiya muttered. This is bad. And Sasuke said something about wanting to meet the human who knew everything. Was he referring to your grandfather? Tsunade asked. Yes, he will revive Orochimaru and then start a smaller reanimation to bring back the 4 past Kages. So I'll be coming back as well, Minato said and sighed. This is quite the war, Hiruzen said as the audience started to leave. He sat in his office chair spinning to look out the village. He clenched his fist. I must protect my home. The moonlight streamed into the basement through a small window, illuminating Hiruzen's eyes. He was bathed into moonlight as he vanished and appeared atop the stone face monument. He overlooked his village and gave a very smile. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. I hope you like this one, and I apologize for stuttering and mispronouncing words, because God knows what, that was some difficult words in this one. Oh well, if you knew what that means, leave a comment down below. And as I said before, if you have any suggestions for the new series, please suggest them below as well. This is Apollo Uchiha and I am signing out. Peace.